Hello everyone. Here's my video on technologies in the classroom. I think that it's extremely important to integrate technologies, especially with the new generation, and how much the kids nowadays use technology every day in every part of their lives. So I think that it's really important that we find new ways to teach our students the information and the content, because I believe that if we don't add in technology, then a lot of what students will find in the classroom to be boring, they won't be involved at all. We need to somehow get them more involved. I teach social studies, and for me, a lot of the things that I use in the classroom are documents. So what I usually do is, on our school website, we use what we call Canvas. Now, Canvas is actually a pretty good tool to have generally whenever using files or some sort of documents, because everything's organized pretty decently. And I think that for me, what I like to do is I put everything I like to have in the future on Canvas itself, so students can always go back and look at the past. For instance, I like to put on a lot of the foundational documents from my AP course, so that if students would like to look back at some of the things that we've done before, then they can always click on the link, and then the file's right there, perfect, right for them, so they can always go back and look at other things, especially when it comes to PowerPoints. I always like to use PowerPoints whenever I teach, but it's not the only thing I use. But having access to all the information is always a great thing for my classrooms. Now, that's just the content, the backbone. But what I like to do when adding different websites, because since social studies documents are extremely important, I very much love the Library of Congress. I think that it's extremely important to have students look at primary sources, especially since if I'm teaching AP, the College Board requires that students have access to primary sources, and they can analyze and interpret them. So for Library of Congress, they have all these different things, whether it's, if I'm looking at Lincoln, I could have letters written by Lincoln, I can have poems written by Lincoln, other documents that he had made, and even probably the most important is the Emancipation Proclamation itself. And these are all available on the Library of Congress. And I think that it's a great website, whether you're a teacher or a student. This is a awesome site to use when you're trying to learn new materials. The second website I love to use is the Interactive Constitution. I think I'm doing this actually probably coming this week, where we're going to talk about the Constitution. I have students basically looking at all the different parts, and what they do that's really interesting on this website is they break it down section by section and teach you how to interpret the Constitution, whether it's going to be a town hall video about certain aspects of it, a blog by other historians, some videos about how some of the amendments came to be. But what this site has is almost everything about the Constitution, and what's important, they also have debate topics. So they, for example, we look at the preamble, they have two historians debating the specific topic of the preamble, what it means. Now, when it comes to the sources, I think if you look in our textbook on Chapter 11, New Literacies and Assessments in Middle School Social Studies Content Area Instruction, they talk a lot about having documents as a main source for social studies in general. And I think using new technologies is really important to kind of allow that to be an easy transition for students that will have a lot of issues looking at old documents. But these new technologies, new literacies, will allow it to be easier for them. I'm hoping that was good for everyone. Have a good day.